Okay. I've filmed this so many times. Alright. Hi, I'm Tanner. Welcome to my channel, where I would love to explore the realms of mysticism, enchantment, and magic, as well as spirituality and self-growth and improvement. As you can probably tell, this is like my first real video that I've made in a long time. So I'm still getting the hang of it. But I know this is gonna be fun, and I'm glad that you're here for the ride. I don't really want to get into like anything too personal, cause like, I mean, maybe one day, but like at this point, I just feel like I just kind of want to talk about topics that you don't really talk about in your day-to-day. And if you do, that's amazing, and let's be friends, cause heck yeah. But this is what's on my mind right now. And so I'm just gonna go with it, because you know that's what life is about, going with the flow, following your intuition. So, mermaids, do you believe in them? Do you think they're real? Do you think that they're like okay, I love mermaids, literally love them. I believe full-heartedly that I am a mermaid. The way I get in the water, the way I feel in the water, like, have you seen Percy Jackson? Like, whenever he like is in the pool and he's like, I feel at home. I'm like, I feel that. Like, when I'm in the pool, I'm like turn into like a freaking mermaid. Like, I literally turn into a mermaid, and it like turns things on in me that like I like forgot about, you know. Like, I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I teach swim lessons, and I've been doing that for 3 years now, and it's what I'm like the most passionate about in life at this point in my life. I totally love it. I'm super charismatic in the water, with the kids, and with the adults it's a bit different, but like I just can't help but be like a goofball, and still get these kids like swimming. And you know, at first it was I started doing this before I even like had any type of spiritual awakening. I started doing these swim lessons, and I didn't know what would come from it. I really didn't. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, like I can't teach swim lessons. Like, I was only on swim team for 2 years, you know, like I don't know all the strokes and all these things, right? And then I get in the water, and I start teaching these swim lessons, and I'm like one of like the most sought after swim instructors in this whole athletic facility, you know, and that was amazing on so many levels for me. I was very, very prideful about that, but I was also I felt like I put a lot of work and a lot of effort into it. So it really showed. It really showed. But at the end of the day, it came natural to me. It came so natural to me. The way I could talk to the kids, the way I could teach the different things and get these kids swimming so fast. Like they would be in swim lessons for months and months, and then they'd do like 2-3 classes with me, and then they were like swimming, you know what I mean? And that's like an amazing feeling for me to have. So the reason I'm even saying all this is because I had a spiritual awakening. I'm having one. You can't just say, oh, I had a spiritual awakening, I'm woke, right? I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I totally believe like you'll have a spiritual awakening, and then you'll have another one, and then another one, and then another one, because there's never you can never be too woke. Just think about like the extraterrestrials. They used to be like our consciousness, and then they kept evolving and evolving and evolving. So there's no way that you could just have a spiritual awakening and be like done. You know what I mean? Like, there's always evolution to be had. That's just how the universe works, in my opinion. So I had my spiritual awakening, and I started learning about fairies and through like tarot cards and mythologies and things like that, of that nature and such like that. Like, so I'm learning about all these things, and mermaids, just like, I mean, like, I don't even know, like, it's a vibe. Like, when people say like, oh, it's a vibe, like, that's a real thing. It's a vibe. So I was learning about mermaids, and I was like, oh my, I'm a mermaid. Like, okay, I would tell my kids to call me Mr. Mermaid Man, and like, they could have just called me Mr. Tanner, but I would be like, whenever they're in the water, like, I just, hi, Mr. Tanner, da-da-da-da-da, and they're like, okay, Mr. Tanner, like, the parents like, oh, Mr. Tanner, da-da-da, then they're in the water, and, like, I'm getting them used to the water, and then, like, you know, whenever it's, like, I feel like they need, like, that little kick, that little push, because they're, like, reserved or whatever, I'm like, hey, I got a secret for you. I'm gonna tell you a secret. You can't tell nobody. All right? And then I would just be like, hey, like, my real name is Mr. Mermaid Man. I'm from the ocean. I was born there. And that's why I'm teaching you how to swim, because in the ocean, they told me I had to come onto land to teach you guys how to swim. Okay. And I would just go on and on about this. And, like, I don't feel like I'm lying, because, like, it's fun, and it's engaging, and it's imaginative, which is really important for anybody who's alive, is to have an imagination. So I was doing all this fun things, and like, now I am like where I'm at spiritually, mentally, and consciously, and I have no doubt that mermaids exist. You know, I've learned about the third eye and things of that nature. And like, you don't really see things that you don't believe in anyway. So, I don't want to say like I am a mermaid right now, because I'm obviously a human. I have legs. If you guys need proof, I have legs. I mean, look at the shoes I'm wearing. Like, who normally does that? I do. But, yeah, so, I've, like, talked to mermaids, like, telepathically, channeled them. I literally just heard, like, a little chink over there. But, and, like, I mean, like, I could have been a mermaid in another lifetime. I don't know, like, I've never had, like, extreme confirmation on that. I just kind of go off, like, my gut and, like, how I feel and, like, the vibes. And, like, I totally, like, vibe with that completely. And, like, even sometimes when, like, I'm feeling super stressed, I just, like, think, like, what if I lived in the ocean? Like, what would I be doing? Moving. You know what I mean? You don't stop moving in the ocean. You just keep moving, and it feels so good to do that. So, like, usually whenever, like, I'm feeling really bad, it's because I'm, like, stagnant. I'm not moving. Like, either, like, I'm sitting on the couch too much, or, like, I'm sleeping too much. All these things, you know what I mean? It's just moving. And, I mean, I wonder if anyone can relate with me. Because, if, like, I mean, I'm sure if you come across this video and if you've gotten this far, like, I mean, either you're just really interested in the story or you can relate somewhat. But, you know, it's important to kind of get yourself out of a habit of thinking. So, like, I try to do that. I try to just remember, like, what if scenarios, you know, what if this all was just water, which honestly it is. It's all energy. But, yeah, and, you know, I got a book about mermaids, and I might show you guys, I might not, but we'll see. But, in it, there's a quote by Beyonce Knowles, the queen, my queen. I love Beyonce. here's a whole nother video, but I 1010% believe that there is like the planet Earth, and then on Earth, like each of us have like our own like planetary system, that like everything that you see in your world is like a part of like your planet, you know, and like other people interact with like your planet, like just like the planets in the solar system. Beyonce planet is like worldwide. Like Beyonce has like the hugest planet that is like all around planet Earth, and we're all a part of it. I don't care what you say, Michael Jackson too, but right now we're talking about Beyonce. Beyonce planet, everybody has a part in it. And whether you don't like Beyonce at all, peasant. This is my philosophy, don't quote me. If you love Beyonce, okay, you're like in the village. Was it before formation or after formation? That depends, because if it was after formation, you're royalty. And if it was, it really, really, really depends on what songs you know and you listen to and you vibe with. Lemonade, you're tribesman, you know? Regardless, she said that she relates to the ocean so much, the ocean, and she believes that she was a mermaid in a past life, and that when she's around the ocean, she feels a feeling like no other, like she doesn't feel anywhere else. And that to me was just amazing. I just had to let you guys know that Beyonce believes that she's a mermaid. Beyonce, okay? So I still do swim lessons. I teach these kids how to swim, and I have so much fun doing it. And I'm telling you, like, put your mermaids, like, next time you're in the water, like, swim like a mermaid. Just see how it feels, and don't feel silly doing it. Feel like real doing it. And like, I'm telling you, it's so therapeutic. It's so therapeutic. It is. The water is so important for like humans, like every single human. Like, we're made of water. I'm ranting, but like I want to get this out there, because I think someone needs to hear this. I really do. And I would love to hear what you guys like think about it in the comments below. But I mean, I could make more videos about mermaids, but that was basically my personal story on mermaids. And there's obviously water nymphs and the fae, all these different things that go hand in hand with mermaids. But I know also, like, even as a kid, I watched like all the mermaid shows. I was like obsessed with mermaids. I grew up still obsessed with mermaids, not as much, but like still very much so. And I mean, I do have like a story that like, it's kind of crazy. So I'll just tell you, and then I'll end the video, because I have to go into Walmart and get some diapers. But basically, I was down by the river, outside my house, outside my apartment. There's a river, so I was down by the river, and I was like hanging on a tree, and it was about the branch that I was walking on was about I want to say like 4 or 5 feet above the river, and then there was a branch above it that I was holding onto with my hand. And I was gonna just walk across the river, but then I was like, no, like I was like talking to the tree, hugging the tree, having a good old time with the tree, because it's not every day that a tree gets to meet me, and it's not every day I get to meet a tree. So I like to have that energy transfer when the time allows it. So I was on the tree, I was walking across the branch, holding on like this. It was pretty easy. The tree literally dips all the way into the water, and then as I'm doing this, I just had a download, and it was like, hey, I'm so glad that you are on land, because you are having an experience that a lot of us never get to have. Us as in mermaids. You have legs, and I'm kind of obsessed with sticks. I don't know why. I was obsessed with spoons a while ago. I don't know why. But they told me, they were like, hey, like we love sticks too, but we can only get sticks that kind of like flow in the water. You can find sticks anywhere, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, that's so true. That is so true. And I kid you not, right as I get this download, the branch that I'm holding on to breaks off. And I don't like breaking trees. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I get like a really like uneasy feeling about it. But this time it was like the tree was like, take it, take it, take it. And I was like, okay, like I'll take it. Like I didn't feel bad about it at all. The tree was like giving me permission almost. So I take the branch and I rip it the rest off the tree because it was already pretty much all the way ripped off. I just had to rip it all the rest off, and it was super cool. It had like a cool spiral design on it, and it just was so beautiful. And I have it on my porch, outside on my porch, and you know, it was just a really beautiful experience where I was able to talk to the mermaid. They were able to talk to me, and I was able to be receptive and listen to them. And they gave me like a offering, like a gift. And I swear, every time I go to that river, it's a magical experience. Fairies, I 100% believe in fairies. Like, I mean, I haven't, well, I don't even want to say I haven't seen with my own eyes, because I feel like I have a few times. But you know, as a human, you just want to say, no, that didn't happen. That's not real. But it really is. And like anything, you know, if you don't believe it, you're not going to see it. If you don't believe in magic, you're not going to see magic. But when you believe it and when you want to see it, it wants you to see it. Just like anything extraterrestrial or higher consciousness or these beings that are all around us, they want to talk to us, but we have to kind of open that door and initiate that. So it's the same with mermaids, I think. So that's my story. You know, I have so many, but that's just all I wanted to talk about today. And thank you so much for watching this whole video. I'm in the car, and that's kind of like, I have a bunch of crystals in here, and it's like a little sanctuary, so I hope you don't mind the steering wheel and everything. But yeah, subscribe if you like this. Like, leave a comment, like really leave a comment just saying like if you've had an experience with mermaids, what your thoughts are on mermaids, if you believe them, if you don't. Like, if you're skeptical, that's great, because being a skeptic is super important in life. Now, if you just don't believe it flat out, like, that's fine, you know, to each their own, you know. But I think it's always good to have a little bit of like fantasy in life, because like, what if? So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace and blessings, love and light to everybody. Keep vibing and keep tribing. I'd love to create a tribe here. But yeah, peace out, homies.